Hey all, and welcome to Top 5. Today is the beginning of the Christmas season. 'Tis the season, so we're going to go over Top 5 Christmas movies. And I actually plan on doing this later in the month, but then we've already getting requests because we had mentioned the Christmas movies in our last one. So we've already been getting I can't wait for the Christmas movie ones. Alright, fine.
Yeah.
You can't wait, we'll deliver it right now. And I am Frank, and I'm with Jonathan.
Hey.
And Squeaks.
Squeaks!
That reminds me, I gotta make sure I get the shirt done for myself. So any big news happening lately? What do you guys...
I just saw the Lion King trailer for the first time.
Oh, it looks so good, yeah. And then you finally watched the Pikachu trailer. That was pretty great.
I don't know why I'm falling in love with that Pikachu trailer.
Well, it's like I was telling Jonathan, it's one of those things like I did not know I needed in my life.
Yeah.
And then you see the trailer and you're like, yeah, this is exactly what we needed at these times. This will bring us together. Because we were talking it's like Ted, but you can have your whole family go to it because it seems like the comedies for both, you know, like Adventure Time and stuff like that.
I'm excited for some upcoming movies, and it's been a while since I've had that, where there's multiple movies that you see teasers on and are in development or whatever, and you know you're actually excited for a new season of movies. So
yeah, what are you excited for?
Well, those two. There's a bunch of them.
We're gonna probably do between Christmas and New Year's. We're probably gonna do top 5 most anticipated movies.
Yeah,
and do top 5 2018 movies or something. We'll do kind of an end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
do that every year.
Oh yeah, that's what we'll probably do every year. Okay, so Jonathan, you're the judge on this one, right?
Yep.
All right, good.
Deciding your guys' fate.
Oh no, not my fate. Not one Christmas movies. So personally, for Christmas movies, to me, I really enjoy them. I actually have the set schedule. You know about this, Jonathan, where right after Halloween, I watch Nightmare Before Christmas. The first week of December is always It's a Wonderful Life. When I'm wrapping gifts, it's always Jingle All the Way. I have certain movies I watch throughout Christmas season, so I'm a big fan of some of these. But Squeaks, why don't you go ahead and do your 5?
All right, so my 5, no order really, is The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Okay, good call.
Elf, Scrooged, Santa
Nice.
Claus, and it's a cheat code, but I'm gonna say all the Claymations.
All the
no.
Claymations.
You
It
gotta
has
name
to
it.
be. I don't have an arrow. To me, they're all
keep
one
it broad,
thing.
it's gonna lose.
To me, they're all one big movie.
Yeah, you gotta narrow it down.
Oh, you're killing me.
And to me, if you're gonna narrow it
At
down,
least
there's only one.
Rudolph, right?
Right.
Rudolph
That's
with
the-
the Misfits. Right?
Yeah, I think that has to be
Yeah,
your
that'll be the
number
one.
one.
That'll be the one.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that seems cheaty.
Gosh.
Okay, so then for me, and what I like is we don't have a lot of matching ones. I'm excited about that.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm gonna go with Jingle All the Way,
Mm.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, A Nightmare Before Christmas, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that Halloween or Christmas?
I say it's Christmas,
I say it's Halloween.
but on that point, okay, so we'll talk
I don't know,
about
I'm
that.
saying.
That'll be part of the actual,
Yeah.
So on that point, Die Hard. I mean, Die Hard in everybody's list is Christmas movie and easily number 1, blah blah blah, or in the top 5 at least.
But it's not a Christmas. It's a movie that takes place during Christmas.
Yeah,
But it's not about Christmas.
and to me, a Christmas movie has a theme, like a Christmas message,
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that. What's the message in Die Hard? I mean,
Die Hard.
survive the terrorists, took over Nakatomi Tower. There's not a lot, there's nothing heartwarming at the end,
Yeah.
So, I mean, she sticks with his last name, whatever, but that's not the same thing. So, yeah. So, for me, I'm going to set that as a side movie. It's really good, Die Hard. I think it actually won our action movies from the 90s list. But, yeah, so that's going to be a side thing. I know people are going to be like, where's my Die Hard? Well, there it is.
Yeah. We were just mentioning, too, Batman. Batman Returns?
Batman Returns, technically in the Christmas time.
That's funny.
Yeah. But it's an action movie. It's not anything about, Christmas itself or...
Yeah, what's the message out of that one? What's Batman Returns? Don't trust Catwoman.
Yeah.
Penguin is awesome.
Seductive.
I love Penguin in that movie.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, he plays him so well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dig into it. John, who do you want to go first?
Squeaks. Go first. What's your number 1?
All right, number 1 is The Grinch. Jim Carrey.
In 2000.
Yeah. Hey, that old already. Gosh, man.
We're all so old.
So, obviously directed by Ron Howard. What I liked a lot about this movie is that something you can put on every year and it never gets old. It's kind of like one of those movies where you can still laugh to it every time you put it in. For me, it's a movie that's always playing in the background when we open presents or whatnot. It's
Okay.
easily that one. What I liked about the movie is that the makeup was amazing for everyone. Turning the humans into hooligan people I thought was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The Grinch, how he looked with Jim Carrey with all the fur and the green is phenomenal to me. the buildings, the cars, everything. It seems like it was actually a real good adaptation of like an animation Whoville becoming like real life, like all the work that had gone behind it. With that, I mean, I think it's funny I'm going to say that for the debating, actually. But the Grinch, for sure.
You got 5 seconds, one more thing?
No.
Jim Carrey, that's your one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
How awesome was Jim Carrey? Anyways. Okay, fair enough. I love that movie, too. And my 5s... Oh, I didn't even name my 5. I'm so terrible about this.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, did you all the way? I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay. Because I thought Grinch was on my list, but it's in my honorable mentions. I have so many honorable mentions. I know, it's so good, dude. Like I said, we could do 2 of these easily. Yeah. Easily do another one of these.
Change our name, Top 10.
Yeah, right? Okay, guys. New website, Top 10.
Yeah. Throw away your shirts, buy new ones.
Yeah. Except for the squeak shirts.
Yeah.
We'll re-release it. It's okay.
Okay, so my number 1, and this is super important to me, guys. You guys better pick this one. It's a Wonderful Life from 1946.
In black and white?
He was already turned off.
Did we have TVs back then?
They added Technicolor to it if you want to watch it in color, but that's sacrilege. You have to watch it in black and white.
You had to like go to a theater and watch it like old timey.
You did at the time,
like
yeah.
It was like a
there wasn't no VCRs for another 30, 40 years.
It was like a televised play.
Yeah, but Jonathan, shut up! It's good. You're eating my time. I'm resetting it. Cancel, reset, because this deserves a full minute of me just talking about it.
I know.
All right, so 1946 got Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. Everybody knows Jimmy Stewart. Don't shake your head. Everybody knows who Jimmy Stewart is, you bastard. George Bailey, who he's part owner of the Savings and Loan. He's kind of like this small-time banker that's offering loans to the guys who are just like, I'll work hard, I promise. Mm-hmm. So he's the one guy in town that you can go to with your problems and he'll help you fiscally. There's another guy, Potter, who's a total jerk, who's like buying up the town and just like putting in cheap hotels and stuff like that just to kind of bring the slums in. Yeah. And so George Bailey's like the one last bastion for hope in this little town. But things kind of go down with his uncle, who's an idiot, who ends up losing the money at the bank. What an idiot. And so so everything's falling apart. So George Bailey says, I wish I wasn't here, or I wish I never existed. So then an angel comes down and shows him what that would be like, and he sees that the entire town would have gone to Pottersville. It would have been terrible and suck if it wasn't for him. And then he sees like, I'm really a good person. And then the ending is super good, emotional, and it's amazing.
That's time. Yeah. I think that Potter guy is a savvy businessman.
He's a jerk.
Yeah. All right, so those are both interesting choices. I definitely prefer one over the other myself.
I will fight tooth and nail, so I'm okay.
All right, so there's a lot of questions I was thinking of, but in the end they all kind of come out to the same thing. Like, who can you watch it with? Oh, they're all family movies for the most part. So it's always going to be the whole family and good morals. They all want to tell a story of the Christmas magic and stuff.
Are they family movies though?
Yeah.
I don't think children want to watch the black and white movie.
Oh my god!
But I mean, it's
I know.
It's family friendly.
I'm going.
There's no
I'm about to start these
now.
5 minutes and then launch across this mic at you.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I'll start with Frank on this question. What do you think a sequel to that movie would look like?
Okay, I don't think it could get a sequel just because it's so perfect. I think it can get some remix, but even then it'd be so hard to do. Yeah. But a sequel might be where Mary, who's his wife, might have the same experience. But it ends so perfectly that I couldn't imagine a sequel to it. And that's one thing we're missing nowadays. Everybody makes sequels to stuff like this. This came from a time when a movie was just so good that it told a complete story and lasted decades. I mean, this thing, 46, I mean, that's what, 80 years? I'm not a math guy. I'm not a mathematician. But it's that good.
Yeah. All right. Is it still aired today?
Yes, it is. It's aired on NBC. It's always aired on the first week. I have the Blu-ray, so I usually just watch the Blu-ray, but you can watch it on NBC if you want to.
Yeah, I remember seeing parts of it once, long ago.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
You watch that and you're just like, Christmas is alive. I mean, it's like, it's the most, so it's really good. It's got the AFI's number one movie of all time list. AFI's American Film Institute.
All right. Yeah. So, Squeak, same thing with the Grinch. What do you think?
I will entertain your question, unlike, Frank did over here. I would say that a number 2 would be the Grinch having to adapt to the Whoville's living since he's always been alone his whole time. So then he'll find a girlfriend, he'll try to have a family or whatnot, or have a house or a home with a specific, loved one. And trying to just adapt to the living because he's always been by himself, all not as cheery as all the Whovilles are. So I would, that'd be interesting.
It would be funny to see him like have an annoying neighbor.
Yeah, there you go.
Everyone's coming over with baked goods or whatever.
Yeah,
Trying to be
it's
friendly.
like, hi Grinch, and he's always just like launching garbage at his house or something.
Yeah, that's good.
That would be a
actually.
funny sequel.
That'd be good. Yeah.
I might write this. This is good.
Let's email Ron Howard.
Yeah.
So, Frank, I'm going to ask you, just tell me more about It's a Wonderful Life, because I know you were rushed and you wanted to get the whole story out.
Okay,
I'm
so...
not sold on it yet.
So the key is we first half of the movie we see George Bailey's life, and it's the powers of the heavens. It wasn't necessarily said to be God, telling an angel like, you got to go down and save this guy, but let me explain who he is first. Clarence, who's like the worst angel, he's like this really bad angel, and of course George Bailey gets stuck with him. But anyway, so we see that like he saves his brother when he's a kid. He helped when he's got a job when he's like 12 years old, because back in the day when you were 12 you had a job. He ends up.
This took place during the Depression, right?
You know what? I think it did, actually. I'm not positive exactly what it took place, but the movie's airing in 46. The Depression started in 29.
Because the bank's closing was because of the Depression, right?
Right.
Like,
So, yeah. So
pulling their money out.
Right. Yeah, they run on the bank. So, anyway, so we see there's all kinds of things he does. He ends up, like, saving a woman from being poisoned. He ends up doing all these things, and just being there in the town alone. He ends up saving them when the banks close down, because he ends up, like, giving people just enough money to get by instead of actually closing their accounts. And, God, it's so hard to explain all this good movie stuff. Anyway, so then we see when Clarence shows him what it was like when he's gone. Well, first of all, his brother dies. Yeah. And his brother ends up being... So we see that later on, his brother ends up being a military hero that saves a whole plane of people from a kamikaze ship. Wow. Well, when his brother had died when he was a kid, that ship goes down. Yeah. And stuff like that. And then we see that, like, his wife, she ends up becoming it's dated movie, it's from the 46, but she becomes a single woman who's just working in a library the whole time. Oh my God, she didn't get married. It's crazy. What? Yeah. So, okay, that's dated. But we end up seeing that the town turns into Potterville, and it's just like this like small little like Las Vegas where it's all about casinos and nightclubs.
This reminds me of the Back to the Future sequel.
It is like it's like Back to the Future 2 when he goes to the future and meets his dad / Donald Trump. It's like that. The kind of
destroy the whole city.
Well, no, I just mean like somebody who's like gold toilets and gold everything. So it's kind of like that. So he sees it as like that in the future. Yeah. But he sees it's like that without him. So so it's really really good.
You got me wanting to watch it again because it's been a long time.
You need to watch it the first time. You haven't seen it all the way through.
I'm sure I have. It's just...
I think I have forced you to.
When you were 12, I was 7, so I probably don't remember it.
Well, I've been watching it every year. So at some point, sit down and watch it.
Alright, well, it hasn't made my list of must-watch every year for Christmas, but I will watch it again. But I think I'm going to have to give this one to the Grinch.
He just had you do all that work in like, nah.
For top 5 Christmas movies,
it can still be in the 5, but...
I know, I'm going to have to bust up Tiana roll, but I don't want to lose it.
Of those two, the Grinch
you gotta go,
is definitely one of my favorites.
Let me go and stop the timer. Alright, go for it.
So, yeah. So, now we'll start with you, Frank. What is your number 2?
I really wish I wasn't going first this time, because I got to make sure I can bring something to beat him.
Oh, what are you bringing?
Well, it should be It's a Wonderful Life. It should be number 1. I could bring number 2, but I don't want you to... All right. I don't want Jonathan to be confused.
I get confused.
What's good? All right, so I'm going to bust up the Tiana roll. It's a Wonderful Life. This must make the top 5, I'm just saying, because it's, again, AFI's number 1. It's timeless. This movie has a really good message of hope, and it's one of the most parodied movies. It has the idea of staying together, valuing your own life, valuing the people around you, the connections you make, and your friendship and family being the most important thing. That's what makes you wealthy, not necessarily money. The ending, he comes back and he sees that, like, because basically his company's going under now because of a mess up by the uncle.
His bank?
Yeah, his like savings and loans going to go under now because of this mess up. They lost a lot of money, and so they're going to go under. And then all these loans that they have out are going to get bought up by Potter. And people are going to lose. Like, he's willing to buy up all the loans for like pennies on the dollar, but now they're going to be in debt to Potter. They're going to be
so he'll evict them and sell off their home or whatever instead of letting them pay their bills late.
So basically, what happens is like the whole town gets together and everybody donates a little bit of money. I know I cancel the time because I'm a little money. Everybody donates money to kind of keep him afloat, and then you see that like the whole town comes together for this man that helps. Oh, I'm gonna get emotional. I love this movie so much. The whole town comes together to keep this guy afloat, who has kept the whole town afloat. And like they're all just coming in, like putting money in this big bin. Like all the people you see, like the pharmacist that he prevented from poisoning a woman accidentally, and all these different things. They all come in and give what money they can. Then his brother, who comes in from the war, just to be like, I talked to this guy and they're able to save you. Like everybody brings in a little bit of money, and it's just like, and then like at that time, there's a little bell on the tree and it rings, and the kid says, "Oh, when a bell rings, the angel gets his wings." And Clarence, this was the job for Clarence to get his wings. So he ended up that means that Clarence ended up getting his wings. And God, it's just such a good movie. It better make the freaking top 5. I'm so upset.
That does sound good. All right, Squeaks, what do you got for number 2?
Yeah, so don't pick it just because it's the last time you can defend it. So
my pressure is on for him. I'm just saying. I'm going to start your timer a little bit late to be fair.
Let me relieve this pressure right now.
Okay.
My number 2 is Elf.
Oh, man.
So,
bro, don't do this to me, okay?
So,
I know that's your favorite.
Besides it being hilarious and well known to mankind all over the world.
I'm starting your timer now for that.
Being one of Will Ferrell's best movies.
One of them, yes. What was funny is that we got to see... it was all mixed up. So it was a human raised by elves. So you get to see the first part of the movie of him growing up in the elf life. Like one of the funny scenes I like a lot is where he's in the classroom and you see the pan of the little kids and you see the big him sitting in a little chair.
That's a good one.
After that, so he goes to find his father home on Earth, or not Earth. I want to say Earth, but New York. Okay. So he'll go to New York to find his father. So you have that journey of that, but also you have the journey of him meeting a girl, falling in love. And then in a way, what's funny throughout the time of him being in New York is that when they talk about, it's Christmas time, obviously, when they talk about Christmas, is that he's passionate and like, no, it's real, but other people don't believe him.
Yeah.
What I like when he was in the mall and he was talking to the coordinator of the Santa Claus. And every time he would say something, like, "Oh yeah, no, I work in the North Pole, and I actually build the toys and stuff, things like that." Yeah, that's funny.
That is good. I'll because everybody knows I had been watching it last night. I knew what we were gonna do, so last night I made sure to watch it. It is a good movie. Definitely a good movie.
Finally,
it's just the only reason it's not my top 5 is because these are the movies I for sure have to watch every year. So it's kind of like I have to get these ones. But that was a very good movie.
Elf is one of my first ones every year.
It's joining my list of movies I'll watch every year for sure.
I think I watch movies based on the newest ones. And then work backwards because I like new movies.
That's not boding well for my top 5.
Yeah, I like when we did the horror movies and they were all old, not classic, just old movies. I'm like, oh my god,
they can be classics and old.
Yeah,
they don't have to like.
Yeah, they're one and the same. But
you're
I'm
like the new It. That's a classic now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I'm a fan of newer movies, which is bad because I know all movie, what do you call it, fans or whatever.
I'm probably hating you right now.
Phenophiles, I don't remember what you call it, but
cinephiles
are all fans of classic old movies. Anyways, to stop digressing, I got to think of a question for you guys now. No, that's...
You're on top of it, Joe.
No, you guys explained it in great detail, and I've seen both these movies. I've especially seen Elf a lot.
Remember, think of the scene where he's passionate about, where he's screaming out Santa.
Yeah.
That's a funny scene.
Think about a movie that has a Christmas movie that has almost nothing to do with Santa.
Ooh, is it really a Christmas movie?
Because Christmas isn't just about Santa.
There is a different reason for the
it's
season.
a big part.
But also, Elf is hilarious, but it's not very much about the spirit of Christmas. Yeah.
He's trying to bring the spirit the whole time he's in New York.
And it's funny, but
like
It's a Wonderful Life does talk about, bringing your family back together and the value of,
that's what talk about
Christmas miracle and all that stuff.
It does.
It's all morally based.
Yeah.
Elf is funny, but it's not. So, anyways, It's a Wonderful Life. It's gonna be our number 2.
Boom. Okay.
I'm
happy. I'm happy with that. Yeah. I'm really surprised that. Okay, that's all right. It should be number 1, but that's right. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. All right, that was an easy 5 minutes, John.
Yeah. All right, so this time we'll go with Squeaks again. Now, what's your number 3?
I'm using Tiana Roy. It has to be Elf again. Besides of everything else I just said in the love story, it's that him trying to bring joy and the Christmas spirit to, like, his dad's not very like that. Like, he's kind of, I don't want to call him the Scrooge, but or whatever. So he's,
I think it was James. Sorry.
Everywhere he goes, he's like spreading the joy. Another scene, like, I don't know, it's just a bunch of funny scenes and it's awesome. And where he's singing in the shower with that girl is in the shower, but he's outside singing it.
Yeah.
That was really
funny. But it is. Yeah, that's it. That's really all I have. I have nothing else to defend it.
You have been talking about this movie all year long.
I know, I'm just thinking the scenes.
You still have 24 seconds.
I know, it's like, we gotta watch the movie and then talk about it. Like,
what about that movie makes it the best Christmas movie? One of the best.
Laughter and joy that you can bring your whole family around.
It's a comedy Christmas movie, which you don't see often.
Yeah, it's not as heartfelt as most Christmas movies, which is why it's a Wonderful Life one over it.
Yeah, but you do have I don't know, your heart gets filled watching Elf trying to spread joy in New York. That's what it is. And
it is one of my favorites, but in comparing it to other Christmas movies, it's hard to put it at the top of the list. But
I never heard that before.
So, okay. So let me explain my reasoning on what's going on here now. I don't have Elf on my list because, again, I just watched it last night and it wasn't part of my normal rotation.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw one of my lower end ones I don't think you're going to vote for anyways up against this. I'm going to defend it well, of course. But I do think Elf is a solid movie. And so it is one of my new, more favorite movies. So I'm bringing up Jingle All the Way.
So you're trying to not beat Elf with that?
I think well, I'm just saying
that's one of my favorite movies.
He doesn't want to lose a spot.
Well, I don't want to. I'm going to save some better ones for later.
I see it.
Okay, so
that's like my number 3.
Okay, well, let me go over it because Jingle All the Way is a great movie, and it's starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin wants
he doesn't have a real name.
He wants a Turbo Man, and you actually had a Turbo Man.
I grew up with a Turbo Man. That was one of my Christmas presents.
But the first reason I wanted to see this movie was because our local news station, Fox News, Fox 40, they had a contest where you drew a poster for the movie, and we turned it in. We didn't end up winning, but that was like we had to see this now because we did the poster that we made for it. Yeah. But anyway, so the idea is Turbo Man is this big toy that everybody wants. We've all been through this, and the kids really want it, so you have to go out and find that toy. And so he's out searching all the stores. He's really going through like it's kind of like Black Friday, but it's actually the day before Christmas. And there's Sinbad in it. Man, maybe this movie should be up there. Sinbad's like this postal worker that's also trying to find the Turbo Man for his kid, and they're like dueling for all the malls and stores and stuff like that. And he goes through the craziest hijinks to get to it. And it all boils down to like the Macy's Day, but it's not. Again, it's Christmas, so it's whatever Christmas parade there is. And he ends up being Turbo Man in the Christmas parade, which of course Arnold Schwarzenegger is very much superhero-y. And Sinbad ends up being the villain of the guy, and he's got this like floating brain and stuff like that.
Yeah, because in the parade they're able to give a Turbo Man to a kid, so he's like, "Oh, it's perfect. I'll be the one to give it to my son."
He's supposed to announce like, "Turbo." I think actually it might be his name, but it was Anakin. Jamie, you're right. Yeah. Because you got Jamie. I can't. Ooh, maybe that was perfect. But there's this like battle they do over the Turbo Man. It's just a really fun movie to watch. It has Phil Hartman, which unfortunately is not with us anymore, but he is one of the best comedic actors of all time in SNL alone.
He played the neighbor.
He played the neighbor. That's what I was trying to get with the wife.
While he was off trying to find the toy.
And the wife was a hilarious actress, and I feel terrible. I don't remember her name. I hate to use it this way, but it's Tom Hanks' wife. But I can't remember. Yeah. Rita Wilson. There we go.
Last name's not Hanks?
No. Yeah.
Famous people, that's true.
But yeah, so really, really good movie.
Yeah, but what's so Christmas
I
joy
might have
about
smacked off though.
We've all been there.
We have all. You and me literally just did Black Friday. We have all been there.
yeah. But I mean, you were talking about the other one. It's like, what's so Wonderful World, Wonderful Life is so Christmassy, whatever. This one's just getting a toy for one child. Trying to make one child happy. When the elf is trying to make
But
joy
when you're a parent,
everywhere.
Sometimes that is what Christmas is. To me, that movie is... We'll just go and start the 5 minutes from now. To me, that movie is... maybe it's unfortunate that it is, but it's so true to the parents of Christmas, where you're doing everything you can just to make your child happy, because that's what Christmas to you is seeing your child happy. Yeah. So the end of that movie, when the kid says, spoiler alert, but the kid ends up getting the Turbo Man, and Sinbad's being taken off because he was trying to hurt a kid,
trying to steal a toy from him.
The kid's like, oh, that's okay, I can give up Turbo Man for this guy to make him happy. And I have Turbo Man. My dad's Turbo Man. Because, of course, yes, the dad's dressed like Turbo Man, but also all the efforts that Arnold Schwarzenegger went through that day to make his kid happy is something that a superhero would do. It's what Turbo Man would have done. So it's kind of like...
My dad's my real hero.
Exactly.
And the whole movie, you see, he wants to spend time with his dad. And every time his dad calls, his dad never showed up to his karate game or match or whatever. Karate games.
More karate games in Christmas movies, please.
But we had one person against New York, and then at the end of the movie, the part where like Santa comes or
he crashed
something like that.
he
crashed or whatever, and then they had everyone believe in him, and he was fighting for that the whole time.
He had to. The only reason they believed him though is the kid brought over the list and was like, Jake from whatever State Farm. You wanted,
exactly.
You wanted whatever new stockings.
Yeah.
So he was able to like force everybody's belief in it. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they do. It's one to always. Man, it's an always joyful movie every year.
What questions you got for us, John?
So if you were in one of these movies, I'll go with Squeaks first. Which one would you rather be in? Which one would you rather be the main character of? And why?
Dang. I have to be the main character?
Yeah.
So you have to be Buddy.
I have to be Buddy?
That's the main character.
Dang. Fine, I'll be with Betty. I live in the North Pole. It's always been snowing. It was Santa Claus.
Never know your real father. Find out you're an outcast of your.
I mean, I guess I would change it because I'd be like, well, why do I need to know him?
I mean, in all honesty, this question's a tough one because I would want to be Buddy too. I mean, you get to know Santa Claus.
Yeah, true.
And really, if they wanted to, they should change the story and just say you're Santa's son because Santa's human, right? He's the only one that's not an elf.
Well, it all depends. I mean, we all know that Santa has his own thing. Like, it's hard to tell because Santa's not going to tell us a lot of information, right? He's trying to stay secretive. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of things say he's an elf. A lot of people say he's a human. It all depends. Like the old like claymation, I think he was a human in that. But there's a lot of books that say he's just a big elf.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Still live on the North Pole.
I'll wait for him on Christmas Eve. We'll see what he says.
What about you, Frank? Would you rather be an elf or Jingle All the Way?
I mean, that's not. I would have to say, yeah. I said earlier, you'd have to be Buddy. You'd have to be the elf. I mean, that's just too cool.
All right. I mean, I'd like to fly like Turbo Man, but that's just me. He did almost die because he
had planted into a big wall. He
did not know how to use that jetpack at all. It was good.
That's hard because I like them both, but yeah, I like them both pretty equally.
It's funny because Jingle All the Way, to me, I think there's so many people who have not seen Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, please, if you guys are listening, you haven't watched that movie, don't let Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting determine whether or not
his acting is not great. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger doing something that's not action-y, so it's just totally out of his realm. It's like watching Twins or whatever.
But it's so funny.
It's just such a funny movie.
It's a great family movie.
And especially, like, nowadays, we just got done with Black Friday and stuff like that, and it kind of shines a light of, like, the good aspect of all this, chaos, of like, somebody just trying to do something for their kid, and I enjoy Black Friday, so for me it's like, it's the movie I watch when I'm wrapping gifts because I know that's what I just got done doing. So yeah, it's really good.
But I feel like Squeaks isn't fighting well enough for Elf. If he was saying more,
I had to fight it 2 times. I don't know what else to say.
So this is the Tiana rule. I'm gonna bring that back up.
If he talked about it more, there would be a lot better material to work with because I know the movie. I know it's better than he's saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Elf. Because there's a lot he didn't say.
He's throwing them curveballs, man. I'm like, all right, stories written, Jingle.
What?
I know there's a lot.
Can you elaborate on it? What?
The movie Elf?
What did I not say that you wanted to hear?
Oh, I don't know. I gotta watch the movie.
It's been
a while. I remember it because I remember that I love the movie and I just can't remember any other scenes, like just the ones that you mentioned. But
it's a really funny movie, and the things I think that the Christmas message wise that it really brings out is the idea that we need to like slow down and actually like enjoy Christmas.
Yeah,
because the Christmas season sometimes for people is just. It's just another work thing. It's just another time. It's not that big of a deal.
Or another just rush to get, kind of like Jingle All the Way, rush to get certain things. And then, I did it. So that's Christmas.
His dad, first off, cheaped off on a book, missing 2 pages, and signed off on him. And then now is in a big rush to get a book out there by Christmas Eve. Peter Dinklage is the guy that's in charge of the books, he's amazing in this movie.
He brings them a new story or something.
Right. He's supposed and they end up stealing his like little journal that shows. Anyway, so... I just watched the movie last night, so I'm fresh on it. But yeah, so he's like busy about working, and it's like stop and enjoy the season you're in, Yeah. So that's kind of a nice message it has.
And like his whole quest throughout this movie is to just really reach out to his father and build a relationship with his dad. Right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily he wants to teach the world about Santa or anything like that. Yeah. He just wants.
It's kind of like 3 stories, like the whole Christmas belief, the dad, and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Kind of like mix it all up.
Yeah, Zooey Deschanel. Is it Zooey Deschanel? No.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, she's awesome.
I always get Zooey Deschanel, Zoe Saldana. Oh my god, mixed up. Yeah, Zooey Deschanel plays the love interest.
Yeah, that's it. So it is a good movie. All right, so we're gonna go on to number 4, and we'll start with Frank again this time. Frank, what do you got for number 4?
Okay, so this is a tough one for me because I really want A Nightmare Before Christmas, but I don't think it's gonna.
You should put it make the list because it's more of a Halloween movie than a Christmas movie.
Well, both of you guys are saying
garbage. No, I'm only saying it because I'm talking garbage.
And I know our audience is gonna be mad that we don't put it on there, but it's too split. Like if there was another category to put it in, that'd be great.
Well, it is probably a lot of people that watch it on Halloween and then they watch it on Christmas.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I bet a lot of people actually just watch it on Halloween thinking about it as a Halloween movie. So I'm gonna give total props for it, but I'm not gonna bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I will bring up National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That is a classic.
Yeah. All right, so I'm starting my timer.
Classic.
So the National Lampoon's franchise is amazing. I really love the Vegas one. I love all of them,
Yeah,
but the Vegas one's always been really good. But this one right here, this is my bread and butter. This is the Christmas one. Because it's the family, it's the story about the family coming over to your house and all the expectations. Again, this is one where the dad's just trying to do everything he can to make the family happy. He's trying to bring back the old memories he had when he was a kid, which we all always that way. I mean, personally, to me, I still hide my gifts and bring it out in the middle of the night, and everybody's adults in the house. I'm like, but I'm still like, this was Santa, you remember? And so, and we know. So I still do that, but it. John's shaking his head because he knows I do.
That's funny.
So he's trying to bring these memories back, and then he realizes towards the end, like his dad, he's having to talk with his dad. He's like, "Yeah, it's always terrible for the dad. The dad's always doing everything he can to make it happy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a mess.
Suffering the whole season.
Eggnog is the trick to surviving it, and stuff like that. But it's just funny because it's all the worst things that could happen. He's got crazy in-laws. The bonus from work didn't come in. Stuff like that happens, and it ends up with his crazy cousin-in-law kidnapping his boss and bringing him over as a gift to try to force the. It's just a funny movie, and it's a lot of hijinks. It's got great music. It has its own original Christmas music that's now in my top 5 Christmas music. That's another thing you could do right there. Is the song for that one is classic, and it's made for that movie, and it's part of my actual annual Christmas music list. Yeah, it's really good.
I like it. All right, Squeaks, what's yours?
That is the main, when you think of Lampoon's Vacation, that's the main one for sure.
Yeah.
So that's classic. But I'm gonna go with Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Okay. Props to you.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. I love this movie because it's I don't know. You can say a modern day Scrooge, obviously. So what's funny is that he's filming. He's this big businessman. I forgot exactly what he does.
He's a producer, I think.
Is he just producer? Because I know he's producing a trailer for the Scrooge, like a promo, and it is like the classic Scrooge, but he's trying to like do something different with it, and it becomes more I don't know, erotic, and sometimes because they have ladies dancing and whatnot. So basically, he's super mean. He's a mean business guy, basically. But what I like about it is that it's more adult-ish. So as we grow up, we have a different taste for things. So it's more like adult humor, an adult theme. I think the ghosts were scary themselves, and certain ones, like the first one, it was like a super dead zombie-looking guy with a rat crawling out of him. The death ghost, I think it is. I forget all the ghosts. Christmas Past or whatever. Or the future one.
Past, future, present.
Yeah, I think the future one was like a really like scary skeleton Grim Reaper type character. Yeah, I just like the fact that it was just a real life Scrooge instead of like the old.
It's got Bill Murray, which is always safe.
It's always amazing, yeah. That's my,
I haven't seen that in years.
I know.
And it's not in my rotation. I might have to do that. This has been a long time since I've seen that.
All right.
Start the 5 minutes for you, John.
I can't think of good questions for you guys. This is hard. It's harder to be a judge
Why
than
are
to be
you
a
bad at your
contender.
job?
I know. I'm a terrible judge. I mean,
if I had picked a living one, probably Lampoon's because I'm scared of this one.
If you were to look up like everybody's favorites, this Scrooge is on the list quite often.
Yeah.
But to
it's
me,
one that does get overlooked though. When I did the research for this, I was like, damn, that's right. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
And it's one that I would always watch just because it's, I don't know, it's funny in a way.
Is it something that kids can watch too? Or is it
No,
scary?
it is not scary so much. It just has adult humor in it. Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those things where an adult will get it and a kid would be like, oh, cool. They would probably wouldn't even like the movie much.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Explain to me.
You'd
your
have to watch the
favorite
Mickey
scene.
Mouse Christmas Carol.
My favorite scene. Okay, so this movie is just a pile of favorite scenes, right?
Yeah.
That's how these National Lampoons work. But I'm going to say... Okay, so my first favorite... Oh, God. My first favorite, I'm just going to say, is the opening scene where he's going to get the Christmas tree. And, I mean, it's a mess. So, first of all, he gets, like... It's so impossible, but he randomly just, like, not paying attention, merges it and gets underneath the truck. And he's just, like, driving and he's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm underneath the truck. It's like, that's so Chevy Chase. And it's like, wait a minute. And then they cut down a Christmas tree that's way too huge. And they're driving back on that old school station wagon, which is a National Lampoon's classic. And it's actually hanging off the back and the front. I have a t-shirt that has that station wagon with the tree that's hanging over both sides. And he's just driving home. And that, to me, is one of my favorite scenes because it's like, this gets me in the mood for the whole movie when I see that scene. And he's like, and they get over the snow embankment and stuff like that, and then chopping it down and break. But that scene, that picture of that tree over the station wagon to me is like, that gets me in the mood for Christmas decorations. This is actually the movie I watch when I'm putting the tree up. So it's kind of like, it's really, really, really good. other favorite scene, if I'm going to just jam one in real quick,
Yeah.
is the sledding one. When he ends up putting that experimental wax on the sled.
Cooking spray.
And he goes so fast that he goes past the hill and into the Walmart parking lot and ends up burning out the bottom of his sled. Yeah, it's really good.
Nice. All right, Squeak, same for you. What would be your favorite scene?
I like. Well, I guess it's kind of in the beginning too, where it kind of shows how mean he is. So one of his I don't know, secretaries, or whatever, come up and say like, "Hey, did you check out the news? Someone died from your commercial because it was a Scary Scrooge commercial." And so he's looking at it, and was like, "That's amazing! We're gonna air. We're gonna air it every like 30 seconds, or we want everyone to be scared because he wants to promote it in that kind of way."
Somebody died. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, exactly.
Score.
The other one I did bring it up was probably, if I just throw another one in there real quick, is the first scene of the ghost when I was talking about how he looked like a zombie and the rat was crawling out of him. I think just because it's the initial start of how the Scrooge, like how it all starts with his friend.
So yeah, you're talking about the business partner that comes up and tells him there's going to be a ghost.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know. I just thought the makeup was awesome. And then finally, where he's like, "Oh, you're dead." He's like, "Oh no, whatever." You know how it all starts with the Scrooge thing. But I just thought that was cool just because it's the initiative of the ghost coming.
I'm thinking back. I wonder if it's the same makeup artist that did Beetlejuice. Doesn't it feel kind of Beetlejuicy, all the ghosts and stuff like that?
The jaws for sure, because it looks like some of the dead people in Beetlejuice. Yeah. How it looks like the jaws stretched out looking.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You like a lot about that is the visual effects. Like
visual effects are amazing with the ghosts and stuff. Nice. And the taxi driver, he was like, I don't know what was his point of it though. It's been a while. Just to take him around, right, or something.
I think wasn't he Ghost of Present?
Which one? There was the lady
it's
fairy.
It's been a while for me.
Yeah, there was the lady fairy,
which is past.
Okay, and the future was the Reaper. Then the present had been the taxi driver. Yeah.
Which normally is like the gluttonous Santa Claus looking guy in the normal stories.
Yeah, he was like a comedic taxi driver that took him around.
He's always a comedy one. Yeah, it's good.
All right, so both very good movies. You guys have compelling arguments. That was a good question for me to think of.
You're on top of it, John.
You're top of himself.
I tried beforehand. I even wrote down a couple questions. Like, those are terrible questions. You can't elaborate like that. Anyways, sorry. But I think I'm gonna go with Christmas Vacation. That's one of my watch every year.
That's tough.
It's one of my favorites, definitely. It's probably my top 2.
That is like everyone's. Yeah. It has to be on everyone's list.
It's funny because I didn't think a lot of people liked it as much as I. But listening to you guys, I'm pretty excited that everybody else is a fan of it. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to number 5, and we'll start with Squeaks on this one.
Okay.
So
my number 5, I'm not going to use the Tiana rule on Scrooged, because there's one I want to get out there, and I'm not going to say Santa Claus, but it's the claymation of Rudolph, Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
What with this is because you know darn well, QPG, that when these claymations come on TV, it's Christmas season. Yeah. So for me, I own it on Blu-ray where it has all the claymations. But since you guys are being mean and let me only pick one, I'll pick obviously the one that everyone knows and the reindeer that doesn't get enough credit nowadays.
Misfit toys, man, it's so good.
Rudolph and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but is it called something?
I think it's just Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay, yeah. Basically, he's a misfit. We all know that he's not like the other reindeers, just like that story. But he goes off and he finds the that guy with a beard. What is he? A mountain climber? Or
he's.
Like that?
I don't remember his name, but he's basically just a mountain climber. Yeah.
Basically, it helps Rudolph to get to where he wants, and the elf, the little misfit elf, because he wants to become a dentist.
Yeah.
So then, what's cool is like because you always think of the characters, you always think of the big abominable snowman. I have an ornament of that guy with Christmas lights around it.
Whom dies and then randomly shows up. Both him and the mountain man, they die and then they randomly we're here, never mind.
Yeah. And then all the toys and the misfit, like the Jack in the Box and stuff.
Yeah.
But more than just that, like I said, every time I see these clamations, I think of it's Christmas time.
You're right.
And I buy them on Blu-ray, or I do have them on Blu-ray, and they play all the time for me. And that's just, I don't know, it's the feels is what gets me. And that's why I wanted to try to fight for this one, because it's just, it's the feels.
It has to at least get in the list. I feel you. Okay, so for me, I love Jingle All the Way, and I don't think I fought for it enough. But this movie, the way that movie means Christmas to you, and it does, it's so good. It's on what I watch all the time. But for me, that's A Christmas Story, where Ralphie needs to get his Red Ryder BB gun. Okay, so this movie to me is Christmas morning, because I'm sure everybody else is well aware, TBS plays a marathon of that movie, and it's on all day long on Christmas Day.
They did the musical too.
I haven't seen the musical, and I know there's a sequel out for it. I haven't seen the sequel that they just recently made.
Oh wow! Okay.
But that movie to me, it's so Christmas Day because again the marathons and I have it on the Blu-rays now and stuff. But while you're opening gifts, stuff like that, it's Christmas as a kid. Because of the Christmas as a kid, you don't necessarily understand the meaning of Christmas yet, stuff like that. But all you know is there's that one toy you want. Yeah. N64, man. I remember N64 getting that was blowing my mind. Yeah. You know, and it's just that thing you really got to get. And you see the hijinks again, more hijinks for him. Just normal everyday life. The dad getting the lamp. I have the stocking that's that lamp. Yeah. And him waiting for the news story or the radio show and stuff like that, and it being just an advertisement. We've all been there. It's just kind of like day in the life of a kid, and it takes place like in the 60s, but or even maybe earlier than that. But it all translates to today. Yeah. You know, being disappointed when everybody's like, "You're gonna poke your eye out, kid," and it's just like. Really and thinking you did amazing on the paper, and it's just like, see, or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. We all remember the kid getting his tongue tucked to the flagpole.
Yeah. And I think that movie's like almost the opposite of Jingle All the Way when you think about it. It's the child version of it because Jingle All the Way is all about how the parents suffer through the whole holiday season trying to shop and try to support the family and make them happy. You got to put up decorations and all that stuff. But then on the flip side, the kids don't see any of that.
They just see the magic.
Yeah, they're just like at home. They got all this free time because they don't have to go to school, and they get special dinners and stuff like that. They go out and play with their friends and stuff. Get their tongues stuck on flagpoles and crazy things like that. And then they're all hyped up and ready and excited for Christmas. And then it comes and goes like every other day real fast.
Yeah.
But it's funny how it's the flip side where they don't see the shopping and the chaos behind it all. Mm. That's pretty cool. I like it. So I'm going to go back to Squeaks with your movie, the Claymation Rudolph. If you were to make a poster to try and sell that movie, what would have to be included on it? What would be the most important stuff? Yeah.
It would be, obviously, in the middle, it would be Rudolph's face with his nose shining bright. It'd be a cloudy background because it needs to be. That's why he's shining his way. Okay. And then I would have like the little side characters all around it. That'd be it. And shining to a theater near you.
The catch. Oh, what? I gotta see that movie. That's such a good line.
All right, Frank, same for you. Is there anything specific? This is just not the DVD cover, of course. You're going to make your own poster.
Well, if I were to use Paramount's idea, I'm not going to make the movie, but to me, this movie, because it's very 60s, very retro, I almost want to see one of those old school where they used to do like really nice artistry. Star Wars has like some of the best ones, but it used to be like just kind of like a bunch of scenes in the movie, kind of like jammed into. I know Archer redoes these collage, and it's like done with artists with like really well drawn. So that you'd almost want to see, like you see Ralphie like in the center be Ralphie with his nose up to the glass when he first sees the Red Riding Gun, and then like around the side you see like the bullies chasing them down, and then you'd see like over here you'd see him in his like white cowboy outfit. And then you see over here, you see like the kid with the flagpole. You'd see the mean Santa Claus that pushes him down the slide. So you'd have like all these little kind of like just the adventures, but then in the center you'd have him like push up against the glass. Like this is his goal. This is when the dream comes alive, and then all the events that come around because of that. So to me, it's got to be those old school artist renderings. I think it'd be really good.
It's hard to bash on these Christmas movies.
You really can't.
Like I want to fight you, but it's like so joyful.
That movie's terrible that tells you about love and happiness.
But what, the meaning, the big plot is like, okay, you wanted a gun for, or you wanted this present.
Well, for him it's a toy.
Moral stories of Rudolph being meeting with a gang of misfits and becoming these misfits that are actually, I don't know, useful.
What do they do in the end?
Well, he finally, gets like gets recognized, and then Santa actually comes up to him and says, like,
I need you.
Big spoiler. But so he leaves all the misfits behind, and they stay on the island?
No, he brings them back or something. Or he meets with the king of the Misfit Island, and then they kind of tell him, like, why are you important to everyone? Like the elf wanting to be a dentist. Says, you can do. It's pretty much like you can do whatever you want. You weren't just made to be who you are.
You're not an outsider. You can do.
Yeah.
You can be useful still.
All right. Because I know I've seen that movie plenty of times. It's like kind of background noise.
Once you get to the Misfit Island, though, kind of like veers off a little bit, and you're like, wait, what's going on? There's a lion.
It's like the essence of Christmas that's in the back of the store on the TVs while you're shopping. So both good movies. You guys debated well, but I think I gotta go with The Christmas Story.
Yes.
It's one of the-
Okay, there are gonna be so many people that are mad that Rudolph's not on this list.
Seriously.
I mean,
You picked the kid that just wanted a gun.
if you guys don't like it, I want to see you here next year and join us for an
Tweet
episode or
us,
something.
Instagram us with what you think's your best, and
give us your list.
and shout out those Rudolphs.
I'll explain why your list is wrong.
Yeah. Christmas Story is a classic, and it's
Yeah,
becoming. It's funny because it was such a flop when it first came out in theaters. Like it wasn't in theaters long; it was just a big flop.
Yeah.
And then it kind of one of those things where it's the cult classics,
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I love it. The cable guys the same way, stuff like that.
Really? So,
Oh, man.
I know I have some honorable mentions here somewhere, but first we can go back over our list in reverse order.
I'll have some. Oh, you want to name those yet?
Yeah. So our number 5 was A Christmas Story. Number 4 was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Number 3 was Elf with Will Ferrell, which is hilarious. Number 2 was It's a Wonderful Life, and number 1 was The Grinch from 2000 with Jim Carrey.
I'm happy. Number 1, it should have been It's a Wonderful Life, but I love that Grinch movie. That's a good one.
That's hard. These are all kind of.
All of them are good. That's like you're saying. It's hard to talk smack about any of these
I
because
know.
we love them all.
The only one I had in my list that there's a ton of movies I should have had in my list, but the only one that we didn't mention that I think Sweets mentioned the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Yeah,
I did mention. Yeah, I wanted to fight for the claymation.
Yeah.
You ever watch the sequels to those?
Yeah.
They're not
Sure.
bad.
No,
Actually,
they're not.
Even number 3. I mean, it's got Martin Short. I like Martin Short a lot, but it's
Yeah, that one. I like the third one better than the second one.
yeah.
The second one's with the Jack Frost, right? Which is
No, that's the
honorable
third
mention.
one.
Third one. What's the second one?
Second one's where he's like trying to get a wife. I think it's
Okay.
yeah, he's a wife.
Is the son a teenager? I can't remember.
The son's a teenager in the third one.
Yeah,
that son,
like
that kid
adolescent
grows up
teen or whatever.
super fast.
Yeah.
Honorable mention though. Besides Santa Claus, Jack Frost. Remember that one? Where the dad turns into the snowman.
Yeah, that's with Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Michael Keaton plays.
That is a
man,
good
I
movie.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
I only seen it
kinda
once,
sad,
and it was on a
but-
plane.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention.
That's
I
what I
had
said.
more. And any other claymation, like the Frosty the Snowman one.
Frosty,
That's a cartoon one.
So
Damn.
Frosty's cartoon, it's not
Yeah,
claymation,
yeah.
but that is a good one.
But it's a part. It's
a
like
classic.
when you buy the DVDs though, it's a part of that package. So that's why I think of it as that.
To me, what I did, I'm surprised you didn't mention about the Rudolph ones. Sorry, real quick, is all the songs. Like those songs, even like Silver and Gold, like all those songs are in
yeah.
your brain, you know.
Damn,
Fudge,
darn.
yeah. Here's a story.
I can argue that.
My nephew and niece, real quick. Sorry, I keep interrupting each other. My nephew and niece talk about how they listen to this podcast a lot, so we need to really calm down on the profanity.
I'm sure they
Bleep
got
that
plenty
one
of it home. We should.
Hi, Miguel. Hi, Tiff.
No, we should narrow down this category though, because we're saying like, oh man, Rudolph should have beat this, and like Snow.
We'll do a
Frosty
part
should
2
be
of
in
this
there.
next year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we narrowed it down to just animated one or just claymations or just from
There's a lot of each. I mean,
before the
Yeah.
80s.
you
or
got
something
all the
like that.
Mickey Disney Christmas Carol, Mickey Mouse.
Oh my
Christmas
god,
Carol.
that's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. Is there's a
Yeah.
Mickey one where like it's a Mickey one that has like a lot of small cartoons in it, but my favorite one is when the chipmunks come in with a Christmas tree,
Yeah.
and it's Pluto versus the chipmunks.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one so much.
Yeah.
It's such a good one.
Man, so even if we do a Christmas specials one, we got to narrow that down into
Well,
categories.
that's we're actually gonna do so.
many.
The Christmas special ones is going to be something that we do every year,
Yeah.
and we're going to do ours this year. This one's going to come out in the beginning of December, or like right now, basically, in November. And then the Christmas special ones will be the one that comes out during Christmas.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good one. We're going to put it later on. Okay, so my honorable mentions, I have a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Misfits song.
Some more that are actually part of my yearly watch is Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh yeah.
I really like that one. And Deck the Halls, which those are the only 2 that weren't mentioned. And It's a Wonderful Life. And the Polar Express.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's good.
That one's it's a good story, but the animation on that one just is weird.
What?
It takes some
That's
getting
so
used
weird.
to. It's solid.
To me, I think it's cool.
Well, it's in the uncanny valley, so it actually puts people off sometimes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Home Alone, Miracle on 34th Street, Bad Santa. You gotta have that sometimes.
Yeah.
The Muppets Christmas Carol, which is the best version of the Christmas Carol. There's actually a Patrick Stewart Christmas Carol that's really good too.
Huh.
And then there's Office Christmas Party. Have you guys seen that movie? It's like 2 years old.
Oh, yeah, it's a comedy, right?
It's comedy.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is so funny, and if you ever gone to a office Christmas party, you know those things can get pretty turned up. I mean, they get kind of crazy. This movie just capitalizes on it. It's hilarious. And it's got Jason Bateman's like the good guy. I can't remember the guy that's like his boss. That's real crazy, who we kind of don't see anymore. But yeah, it's a good movie. But yeah, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, make sure you guys check out the Instagram and the Twitter and the Facebook. We have the Patreon up. I'm going to be adjusting the Patreon right now because it was where we're going to do individual episode like a special episode for that one. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start archiving our first like 10 episodes where we didn't do the competitive format.
Yeah.
So I'm going to archive those. And I might take off the numbers. Right now we're numbering our episodes. I might take off the numbers so that they're just like by topic.
Yeah.
So we might do that. But anyway, so I'm probably going to archive our first like 10 episodes because they're old format, old recording. We learned how to edit better now. So that might be where we storm. We might storm on the Patreon. Nice. Any kind of Patreon donations, we really appreciate it. The Redbubble we don't make a lot of money off of. That's more so that we have the shirts out there if somebody wants them. Yeah. I know Diana got one and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, hit us up on all the social medias. Let us know a topic you might have. If you think Jonathan did a terrible job not getting Rudolph in there, let him know.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm letting him know after this.
We have the Instagram is really hitting strong. That's good. And then,
yes.
the Twitter is doing pretty good. So anyway, so we'll see you guys on all those. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all later. Bye. Thanks for listening to The Top 5. You can find us all over social media. We're on Facebook at The Top 5 Podcast, on Twitter at The Top 5 Cast. We've got a website, thetop5podcast.com. We've got Patreon and Redbubble. We'll have those in the description. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on one of the social medias. Please give us a good rating on iTunes. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you later.